Hello everyone, Statname here. We continue going over the best players at their rooms, and today we have a guy who is one of the best winners at WPN network. He plays NL52, NL200. The guy's nickname is Namlak11. Here's his graph. His red line is below 0, but his blue line is very impressive. His average win rate is 8.5 big blinds per 100 for almost 700k hands, which is really impressive. His primary stakes are NL50 and NL100, and he sometimes adds NL25 and NL200. And as usual, let's go over 3 hands with our hero. Okay, first one, and we have a very interesting hand from the get-go, 9 deuce offsuit on the big blind, as this guy actually posted a blind without waiting for a full round. So yeah, in reality he posted 1 big blind here, and hand to know just glitched a little bit. Small blind completes, we check, and we hit a very nice flop for us. Bottom 2 is a very good hand, and let's see this guy's stats, because this hand is pretty much all about him. So he's a recreational player, playing 67-16 for more than 400 hands. And he has huge aggression frequencies on pretty much every street, more than 50, which is great for us, because those guys, those recreationals, lose much more money overall than the more passive ones. We of course can don't bet here, but considering the level of aggression of our opponent, I really like checking here. I really like Hero's idea, so we are just trying to trap with our bottom 2. So he bets and we check raise, and we check raise really big. We don't want to use any standard sizings here, like 3x or something like that, because first of all he's a recreational player, and we want to increase the size of the pot as fast as possible. And actually the pot size on the flop is quite too low, because it's a limp pot. So yeah, we want to put more money in. He calls. 5 of diamonds is a good card in terms of not completing pretty much anything on this board. I mean, we are losing now to King 5 offsuit, King 5 suited, 9-5 suited, and he has all of those hands in his range. But even with this in mind, I still like value betting here, because our opponent can easily overplay any top pair, and he has tons of top pair combos here. He can even stack off with a weaker top pair, I think. So yeah, we want to bet big. He raises, which is great for us. We of course call, considering his aggression frequency. And we take the pot down against ace-9. So the guy overplayed even second pair. So we definitely never fold against him. Okay, next hand, 9 max table. We have a raise from early position, but of course we 3-bet our ace-king suited. Unfortunately, we get a 4-bet, and this is a not standard sizing for a 4-bet, 24 blinds. Well, considering GTO, his sizing should be around 20 big blinds, so a little lower than what he did. Anyways, let's go over our opponent. Here he is, 37-27, 13.1 3-bet for almost 900 hands. Well, I can't say that this guy is a regular, but at the same time I can't call him a fish. Well, I usually assume that these guys are actually recreational players who saw some pre-flop charts somewhere on some poker site, I don't know. Or maybe, just maybe, these are recreational players who intuitively want to play tighter with more open raises. If you go over his raise first in percentage from different positions, we see that he has positional awareness, and he definitely has seen some charts, because he knows what to do in terms of where to raise more and where to raise less. Because many recreational players, they just raise the same range from every position. I mean, he raises a lot from the UTG, but the sample size is not big enough. We have only 14 opportunities to raise in the UTG for him. And at the same time, we can see that he knows more or less how to 4-bet. His 4-bet percentage is 12. But anyways, he still raises too much from early positions, so he's more of a recreational player, I'd say. And I'd say he can totally overplay some hands, like he can play for stacks, I believe, a hand like pocket jacks from early position, which is definitely a no-go for any regular in these positions. So I think against a guy like this one, we can definitely shove ace-king suited, and I like Hero's decision. Why have I chosen this hand for our video in the first place? Well, you see, against a regular in these positions, and especially against a bigger sizing, 24 blinds, we definitely don't want to stack off with a hand like this, because he represents a lot of strengths. So against a regular in these positions, even a hand as strong as ace-king, we should either call or even fold sometimes. So yeah, we do stack off here. He shows, in this case, pocket aces. So even a guy like this, of course, will have aces sometimes. But we got really lucky in the end and still won. Anyways, in the end, I think that this shove is profitable in the long run. Okay, final hand for today, ace-queen offsuit on the cutoff. We face a min raise, of course we 3-bet our hand, and he calls. Let's see who our opponent is. Okay, this guy is more regular-like, I'd say, but still the gap between VPIP and PFR is way too big. For most regulars, I'd say the gap would be like much smaller, especially good regulars. So yeah, even by his basic preflop stats, we can see that this is not a strong regular. And his results confirm it. For 20k hands that we have here, he was losing money. Okay, ace queen 10. I like the choice of sizing here. Third pot looks really nice. I mean, on one hand, it's a really good board for us, and maybe we want to bet bigger, but on the other hand, our opponent definitely has king jack suited in his range. So yeah, we don't really want to bet huge. 9 of diamonds on the turn completes a flush, but the only flush I actually see here on this board for our opponent is a king jack of diamonds. And why do I think that it's the only flush he can have? Well, we see almost all of the Broadway diamonds here. We see an ace, a queen, a 10 and a 9. So the only Broadway diamonds he can have are king and jack, and I don't think he has some lower combos. And even if he does, even if he shows like some low flush, we still have a redraw. So I think we can continue betting here, and hero chooses a small sizing, and I like it. The idea is that even if our opponent decides to raise, we can still call. 9 pairs on the river, and we bet not so big, we bet around half pot, and we just want to extract some extra value. And I like this sizing too. But we face a raise, unfortunately, and it's actually not so easy to tell what to do against this raise. Hero decided to call, and to be honest, I don't really like this option. What don't I like about this call? Well, if we take a look at our opponent stats by street, we see that his aggression frequency gets lower by every street, and at the river, it's the lowest, 29%. So he is quite passive at the river. And his raises are also quite low on both turns and rivers. So I just don't expect him to bluff here too often. What arguments do we have in favor of calling? The only thing I see is that he doesn't really have a lot of flushes in his range. But then again, even if we know that he does not have a lot of flushes, we want him to be able, at least to be able to bluff for us to call. And I really doubt that he's the guy who knows how to bluff. I mean, he would bluff sometimes, probably like once or twice a year, but this is not enough. And the second option is for him to overplay some hands, but what can he overplay here? Like ace-10 suited? I doubt it. I really doubt it. So yeah, I don't really like this call. So yeah, I'd expect him to have a lot of strong hands here. King Jack of diamonds again. Even King Jack without a flush. I mean, just a nut straight, because maybe he saw our small bets on pretty much every street and decided to be aggressive on the river with his straight. He can also have hands like 10-9, but only two combos, right? 10-9 suited, and also pocket tens, but for some reason, pocket tens that he decided not to raise on the flop for some reason. I still expect him to mostly raise his pocket tens on the flop. But no, he actually shows pocket tens, and we lose this one. Anyways, this is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you around and have a nice day.